everyone, it's Laura Myers for CMS-Connected. Today I'm speaking with two members of the leadership team at Agility CMS, founder and CEO John Voigt and Joel Vardy, their VP of Innovation and Development. Our topics on deck are agility in the cloud, content architecture and why everyone should take note of what it means, the importance agility places on the thoughts of developers, and how their platform integrates with many of the popular platforms in the market today. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey, doing great.
Awesome. That is so great to hear. Let's start with agility in the cloud. Give us an overview of its benefits as well as why it's impactful for customers.
Yeah, great question. So we like to talk about agility as being a true cloud platform. So that's a platform that is in the cloud, but also SaaS, software as a service, and multi-tenant all in one. And you get a lot of benefits from that for the customer because you do all three, not just one of those. And by having that true cloud, you get unlimited updates because it's multi-tenanted. You get software as a service, so it's spread out benefit-wise, payment-wise, so you don't pay for everything up front. And it's in the cloud, so you get all that kind of scalability, redundancy, all those things there.
Yeah, and when I think about cloud, I think about the ability to scale, but also the ability to start small, but also it's not really portability, but for instance, we needed to open up a Canadian data center. So we were able to do that without a huge outlay of things like hardware or any real capital investment beyond what we were using. And it made us really flexible and able to spread things around and to provide way more, a whole nother platform for our customers, who wanted to have their data in Canada. And that's just one of the things that we couldn't do before without a huge capital outlay.
Now, content architecture is something we've heard a lot more of recently, and we see it here and there on your site. How would you describe it, and why should customers take note of what it means?
Yeah, for sure. I'll kind of define the word content architecture because people think of it in different ways, but the way we look at it is how do you configure your back-end platform to support your content. So a lot of people focus on the front end of a website. They focus on the design, the user experience for their customers, which is very important as well. But if you're not focusing on how you configure the back end and how it's used from an editor standpoint, then why do you have a CMS in the first place if you can't manage the content? So you have to be able to, configure the back end in a good way.
There's a real art to it as well. When you do it right, that can be the foundation for the back end of your website for years to come. We've had websites that are around for upwards of 10 years that have built upon the same content architecture right from day one, and it takes into account the design of the day, but also it builds the experience for the content editors and those content managers, and that really sets the tone for how they're going to be working with the system and working with that content, and that's really important.
Speaking of those who build, the opinions of developers seem to be growing in importance lately. What is special about agility for developers, and how much consideration do you give them?
Yeah, great question. So when you're on the sales side of content management and working with customers, you're constantly thinking about, what do the marketing people want? What does the tech team or IT team want? Things like that. But people often forget to step back and look at the people who are actually using the CMS initially. Those developers are the ones putting everything together, setting things up for you. And if the project doesn't start off well, it's not going to end well. So you need to be able to take their considerations and needs in consideration. So we started out as a development shop. And when we built Agility, we had needs as developers to have a content management platform. And we've taken that methodology forward where we've made sure that integrations are easy, using your own languages are easy, APIs are easy to use. All these things that need to be easy for developers to tack on and add things on have to be fluid and natural for them so they're not adopting some new system or adopting some new technology.
Yeah, and from my point of view, developers were the first person that we were thinking of in terms of how to build that website, and we didn't want to put them into a box and just say, hey, you have to do it this way. And what that's meant for agility is as web technologies have evolved and technologies have sort of come a long way in terms of cloud technologies, web technologies, and how you build software and all that stuff. Agility has been able to support developers really in a really good way throughout that life cycle, and I'm really happy to sort of see how it's evolved and see how people are, when a partner builds a website, I say, well, how'd you do that? It's almost always a delight to see kind of the new ways that they're approaching problems using our technology.
I love that, how you and your team really take inspiration from how users are innovating with Agility. My last question is surrounding the evaluation of a new platform and how integrations are such a big consideration for customers. How does Agility work with integration partners to ensure easy integrations with popular platforms like Salesforce and Dynamics 365?
Yeah, great question. So every single year we get more and more integrations in every implementation we do. Customers are getting more platforms. I know, a stat not that long ago, the average number of just marketing platforms a company has is upwards of around 20 different platforms. When you start adding, when you think of Google Analytics, it's still a platform that you integrate with. You add all these platforms together and you have a huge array of things you need to integrate with. So our methodology has been to build a platform that's really, really easy to integrate with. We have some hooks to integrate with certain systems, but if you build too much of that in a kind of rigid way, when people go to use that platform, that's all they can do is what you've built in. So our methodology is to build in these hooks where you can tap in other applications and platforms, and that way, when someone comes to us and says, well, we have this other third-party platform that's not very popular, can I integrate it? We're like, yeah, no problem. And then if they come and say, oh, we're using Dynamics or Salesforce, oh yeah, no problem. We may have some base things you can start with, but you can take that whichever way you want, which really gives the freedom and the flexibility to the customer and their internal business processes, which you don't want to change your business process because of the platform. You want to figure out the most efficient business process and then put the platform in place to support that.
Yeah, sometimes people want to eliminate, bottlenecks in their processes. So a good integration can eliminate sort of manual stuff, but people want to keep the stuff that's working. I'm already using Salesforce. I'm already using this other tool. I want to just get data from the website or wherever your users are. I want to get that in and out of these different systems so I can continue to use what's already working in an enterprise. And I think that's where modern web APIs have really evolved, and Agility has been, one of the things where API first for everything, and the ability to integrate is the first thing that we thought of when we were putting this system together. So it's cool to see how people move data in and out, and where they bring their enterprise sort of in closer to their website, in terms of where things are moving in and out.
That's so fantastic when users have the ability, as you mentioned, to customize the platform to their unique business strategy versus the other way around. And again, it's great to see that you, as Joel mentioned, considered integrations upfront with the design of the platform rather than just an add-on when it was all said and done. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Great talking to you.
Take care.
Absolutely. That was John and Joel from Agility CMS giving us some valuable insight into what their business is all about. For more insight on Agility, make sure you check out my other interviews with the company right here on CMS Connected.